Hello, everybody.
Good morning.
It's live with Scott.
And Nancy Jean.
Yeah,
And we just got a thunderstorm coming down. Just
really?
started really bad.
We don't. And we have there's no echo between our sounds. Every show I've been on recently, and it was a YouTube StreamYard thing, somehow everybody had echo. People would have to turn their mics off in between conversations and it wasn't just me. They were telling me they were coming from other shows and they were going, "What's going on?"
Strange.
So
Well, that's good news.
the well, I hope it's good news. I went into my store. Do not go to my store today on my website because it says it's not there. That was another. And I paid my bills. I've done my things. Anyway, last night there went Scott. Scott just went away. We insulted the YouTube gods. Oh, I'm glad we're the favorite thing for people first thing in the morning. Thank you, Beverly. Um, and I wish I could control the chat. I don't know if that may have been the thunderstorm knocking Scott out. Am I still there? Did someone there? Can you tell me if we're still on? Good morning, everyone. I'm waiting for Scott to come back. Scott apparently turned it off. And if it works like this has happened to me before, okay, you can see me but not Scott. That happened to me when I was running a show. I went away, but the person hung in there, Sheila. And that show was a mess. And not because Sheila and I were a mess, but it was, yes, it's. Anyway, hi everybody. We had some interesting questions. There we had about Jackie the Eagle, and Scott and I looked it up because Scott and I don't follow eagles. So Jackie the Eagle was an eagle that had one of those nest cams, and um, the nest cam. Uh, they realized she was ill and she's severely anemic, and they're saying, will she be able to go back to her nest? And I'm going to pull cards on that because it's the one question I remember getting this morning. this phone is Scott. They can still see me. I'm still being broadcast.
That's strange.
You can. What I did when this happened to me with Sheila, I went back out and came back in, and she was just there. So try going out and coming back in, unless you've been totally locked out.
We just had a lightning strike, and my internet's trying to reboot.
Okay. Well, we're going to be patient. I'm going to answer about the eagle and about Marco Rubio, another endangered species. And they're all,
briefly, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just, they're all here. So.
Okay. Like I said, my internet's rebooting from a lightning strike.
Yeah, you said, okay, bye-bye. I don't know if you heard that, but Scott's rebooting from a lightning strike. Yeah, they're going to try and save the eagle. I don't know. I don't know how eagles die. I know that a lot of them used to get anemia from eating pesticide-laden things. That back when they took the pesticides out and the bald eagle came back. Let's see. It says no, she's not going to make it back to the nest. She wants to go back to her nest, but she just doesn't have the power to get out. She's trapped in a place she can't get out of. It's time for her to go. And I think she ate something poisoned. And there are a lot of readers that are having trouble connecting, or there's a lot of readers that recently there he's trying. There he is. Yada. There he was. He just went dark again. But during Carter's time, when they passed some of those conservation laws, is when we got the eagles back. I'm old enough to remember when they were almost gone. Okay. I don't know what to say. Okay. Oh, let's ask if the Congress is going to pass a daylight savings law. I'm going to have to pick these up because I can't highlight them or anything. Somebody likes the dramatic effect of the darkness on you, Scott, if you can hear me. He went away again. Daylight savings law. I think it's going to pass. There's parts of the country that really don't want it. Up in Seattle, apparently, that really cuts their days into teeny tiny little bits, but I don't see how that could make a difference because you just only have so much light. It's like in Iceland. If you live in Iceland, you're going to go dark part of the year. But anyway, people want it because it's going to make homes happier. It's kind of a burden to have daylight savings time change all the time. They're going to give it time to work, or they're going to give areas time to change, which is going to even be worse, more erratic. And nobody's going to like the solution they come to. But yes, they're going to do it. And my story about daylight savings time is when I was going through school, graduate school, I had a daycare I helped run, and that's how I paid my kids' daycare tuition. They could be in the school if I helped run it. And I did the books and ran the kitchen and did that stuff. And the worst 2 times of the year is when time changed, because there is no 6-month-old baby that understands, oh no, we've just changed everything an hour, especially if they get really good. If you really get them into really good eating patterns and stuff, daylight savings time was the worst. We had an infant room that had 10 infants in it. We had 3 workers and 10 infants. And it was horrendous. Why? I mean, it was like torturing small children. You can never get anyone to understand that. And somebody's saying that there was a shortage of fish because of overfishing on the East Coast, and that may have had something to do with Jackie's demise. I have no idea. They did this in the late 70s. A lot of people died because of the darkness at school bus corners and circadian rhythms. The thing is, just pick a time and eventually we'll figure out schedules to make it. I know in Minnesota, where their days are much shortened, when I went to school, and it wasn't a one-room schoolhouse, it was like a big brick building. We had to be in school. We had the longest school day of the year. We were in school at 7:30 in the morning. And there are a lot of Midwestern schools that would start that early so the kids could get out and go help on the family farms. I didn't live on a farm, but I lived in an area that has farms. And a lot of farmers. And they did a test. They did a scientific test in Minnesota, and they found out that teenagers' circadian rhythms are significantly different than ours. And the kids did. Who is Jackie? Jackie is an eagle that's being treated for anemia. And they found out by doing testing that schools that opened later, that opened at 9 o'clock, that the students had better attendance, better outcomes. And so they shifted their whole school day to like 9 in the morning. And I just thought, God, what bliss that would have been, because trust me, dragging my butt out. And it was dark. I don't care where you are, it's dark. The DOJ just noticed that it's low on weapons. Well, we already know they can't count, or they count the way they want. Will defense companies even get more money out of them? Okay. Here he comes. We're going to see. I see the swirl of doom coming, trying to bring Scott in. Okay. Will the DOJ find out a way to get more weapons? Will the DOJ find more weapons? Yes, they're getting together with the people who manufacture it. They're going to figure a way around it. 7 of Swords is 7 of thinking. It's coming up with new ways. But it's going to be tempered because by the time all that gets around happening, Congress is going to be back being a real Congress and saying, oops. And then, but by that time, we may have gotten ourselves out of this war and we may not need all of them. So. There he is from the dark. Can you hear us, Scott? He can't, I don't know. Oh, he's moving. Are you doing it on your phone? We don't need an eclipse. We have Scott in Wisconsin in a thunderstorm. Weapons are in constant production, but they're in production at a certain level. And I don't know if any of you read Mark Kelly's essay yesterday, but he wrote a thing on, if you look, there went Scott again, that when you look at the number of missiles they were throwing and the weaponry they were throwing in there, but if you don't have someone who, weapons only work if they're used with strategy. You just can't go in and shoot the place up and use up all your weapons and think you've accomplished anything. Unless those weapons are targeted and used for a reason, they're totally wasted. And Mark Kelly did a brilliant essay yesterday on how they have just thrown away years of work and years of planning. Yes, stupid internet. Poor Scott, stupid internet. Oh, somebody put DOJ instead of DOD. That's okay. I know the DOD, as much as they would like to have some high-speed weapons to come get us, they're not going to get us. So, good morning, Marby, and you get to be here and realize Scott's not here. Okay. And because Scott's internet's not working, oh, now my thing's working. Okay, I can go back. I had a whole lot of people who want to help be executive producers. Now, one of the questions we got was that now that Todd Blanche has been confirmed as AG, will he be disbarred? Okay. And being confirmed by the slimmest of margins is not a great way to be confirmed. Scott's got the swirl of doom bringing him in. You can do a 3-card reading on Todd Blanche being disbarred. There's a change coming for him. He is not going to be the all-powerful Wizard of Oz person he thinks, but they got him through, and that made them very happy. So will he be disbarred? I think so. I think he's got that big change. That transformation card is the equivalent of a death card in a normal deck. I have, okay, let's see if there are, I can't show it, but this question came in. How many deaths are happening at concentration camps? Okay, let's see. Are deaths happening at the concentration camps due to the refusal of medical care? Well, okay. These two cards at the beginning and the end of this question tell me that the death camps are almost over. I think Congress is going to say something. Something's going to come in to make things better there. They're not going to be able to reach their goals. And information is coming in October. Wheel of Fortune can also be October for me, and it's going to help. But yes, there are deaths happening there, but that question with the cards laid out was what's going to happen to the concentration camps. You know, they're not building anymore, and all the big ones they plan to build, they can't get the buildings. They can't get contractors to work on them. They've now lost the bank that was bankrolling ICE, has pulled out of doing that because they had, apparently it was a big bank in New England, and it had a lot of faith organizations that had wealth in them. And all the faith organizations said, you won't talk to us, you won't deal with us. So they pulled all of their funding, and all of a sudden the bank's changing presidents and they're shifting their policies. There's Marco Rubio. What's going to happen to Marco Rubio? For those of you who are wondering, just as we came on air, we were on for about 5 minutes. Lightning struck in Wisconsin. And I'm running this through Scott's channel, but Scott's not here. He's desperately on his end trying to get back on. And he can call me and talk to me if he wants to about what's going on. But we're having our Sunday with coffee, but no Scott. Marco Rubio. It says he's riding high now. He thinks he's doing really well. The man's delusional, but he's going to come to a point where he's going to want to walk away from all the battles because he's not going to get what he wants. And I think he's going to go home and be with people he'd be happier with. What that says to me is he's not going to be destroyed by his behaviors, but that his future isn't, he's not going to be able to have the future he wanted to have. Will Floridians save money if they vote for the property tax reduction in November? If DeSantis is for the property tax reduction, no, because the state's going to lose $10 billion in revenues for services. So let's see if this property tax reduction in Florida is a good idea. That's what we're going to ask. Because my cards don't do decision trees. They don't do yes, buts, or if no things. They have to say yes or no. No, it's a hideous idea. It leaves the state undefended. It leaves things not done. Things that need to be prepared and be put up to be done are not done. And this is also a no. Will it help the people? No, it will make their homes more miserable. It will stop anything from getting started. And if you know much about, if you read Terrell Much, or you hear us talk about how the Empress is the person who's safe in their garden and in their homes. If Floridians vote for this, they may as well just keep drilling and let all the holes and all of the just water sink in the whole state. I answered Jackie the Eagle. Okay. will Elon Musk be able to use influences to rig the votes? Is what it's a Artist Liz. Hi, Artist Liz. Will she calls him Leon? Will he be able to use his big, beautiful tabulators? Will he be able to use his to rig this fall's elections? No, because enough safeguards have been put up around it to stop it. It wouldn't be just to let it happen. He and his friends are working on it, but it's not going to work because there will be no intemperance and the Queen of Pentacles won't let it happen. So that reads a no on him getting his tabulators. The best way for us to have a safe election and the best way for us to have an election that helps everyone is for everyone to get out and vote. They can do a whole lot of funny things, but when they just get swarmed with would they get overwhelmed with voters, they can't do anything about it. And sweet darling Lulu wanted to put a rest in peace for Diane Aquarius, and we are thankful for the light she shed to our community. And I knew Diane, and I got to be a close friend of hers, and I knew a lot about her family, how all that worked. And I was shocked that she died because she was not old. But there were 5 or 6 kids in her, that were her siblings. They all died of strange things, really weird viruses and stuff. And Diane and I talked about that once, and she said, I don't think I'm going to live to be very old. Now, I don't know if that was, it's like in my family, we all live to be old. So we can kind of say that. Now, her mom lived to be old, but her father died when he was quite young, actually. And we all wish her the best, whatever planet she's landed on now. And China's not going to do anything about people beating up their puppies. They don't do anything about. That's the same country that razor wired people into apartments during COVID. Do you think they're going to care about a woman and her puppies? No. Institutionally, they're just not. Okay, how will the eclipse affect 45 in office? And if you think you're hearing someone loading an ice in an ice maker, that's true. I share a house with 3 other people. They have a right to get ice if they want it. Unfortunately, it's very near my office. Live with it. At least I'm on the air. I think I'm on the air. Okay. The eclipse hit 45. Oh dear. He's going somewhere. So whatever's going to happen is going to happen very swiftly. It'll never be justice because he's never spent a day in jail, and that's where he should be. There's going to be a few days where we reckon about what happens. Then there appears to be a celebration. And then this is kind of mean, but this is the card I always get for J.D. Vance. And he's the Queen of Cups upside down. And it's going to affect Vance. So if you don't know that I do this, but once a week, Jeffrey and I do a thing that comes up automatically on Fridays. It's a short little thing. It's like 7 or 8 minutes. He reads tarot. I read my garden for what's coming up in the next week. And starting the week of the 12th, huge changes, and everybody has to decide, where do I stand? There's no more hiding. And I don't know enough about astrology to say that Trump was born on a lunar eclipse. I do know people who have Mars retrograde in their birth chart don't have as much trouble with retrogrades as the rest of us seem to. Okay. No, somebody asked about the new executive order about birthright citizenship. I hope they don't change it, because that's what I've got. My parents were Canadian citizens when I was born here. I can tell you what, I'm going to tell you what I know. Politically, executive orders don't do crap. And if he doesn't have a congressional ruling to go along with it, look, they're already telling him he can't have his damn ballroom till Congress gives him money for it. So, no, there's nothing going to happen with birthright citizenship. Oh, and kudos to the folks in Minnesota. Apparently in Minnesota, a lot of people are putting Republic of Mexico flags on their vans and on their cars, like bumper stickers. And because they're on white folks' vans, ICE is spending a lot of time stopping white folks and not stopping who they think they're stopping. So, yay, clever people in Minnesota. And yesterday was Lionsgate's Day, and I hope everyone took advantage of it. Lionsgate stopped my computer store from working, so I've got to go straighten that out when we get off the air. Will Americans elect leadership necessary to regulate AI before it's capable of being used for nefarious things? Okay. About AI, I can see all the nefarious ways that AI could be used, but if you've read any of the history about when the printing press came out, it was like, oh my God, that means everyone will have knowledge and it will be horrible. And yeah, there are horrible things that happen when everybody has knowledge, but there's also good things, because there are people who have better ideas that get their ideas out there. I don't think the jury's in on AI. I think AI is like anything else, any other energetic in the universe. It depends on the intentions of the people using it. If you want to be lazy and let it run over you and not understand how to watch a video and see that it was generated by a machine, then, I don't know. I couldn't help you, because you probably read stuff in the newspaper and considered, well, if it was in print, that's what happened when things started being put in print. People said, well, I read it, so it has to be true because someone printed it. We have to look beyond. This is where we have to really look at the intentions of ourselves and other people around us. And that's sometimes troublesome to do. Okay, there's my heart goes out to anybody caught in a wildfire. Wildfires terrify me. We just don't have big enough trees. I guess if something really started on fire here, it could burn you out, but we have tornadoes that do that sort of stuff. Let's see. End result of the wildfires. That's just a simple thing to get out of 5 cards. Because they want to know about housing availability and all that stuff. Look at California. I got a lot of major arcana in the answer, and what it says is It's going to make people seriously look at how governments work and how they flow. How the Queen of Pentacles is the good use of money directly for people. In this case, there will be housing will become a priority to be built out of this. It seems really imbalanced right now, but it's coming back, and people are going to get the star. They're going to get the goals they set for themselves. So Sandra, I think because of the nature of the fact that this is happening all over, new kinds of housing are going to come out of that, and new ways to help and support people. Okay, no, if you live at a company where your company, if you live or work for a company that ties your retirement to crypto, yeah, you're in a lot of trouble. And this person wants to know, their question was, is crypto going to get tied to federal pensions? And I got, no, they're never going to be able to get that control to do that. People are smarter than that. Remember, George W. Bush wanted to take Social Security and put it in the stock market. Just imagine how great that would have been in 2008 when all that hit. And somebody's saying they fear that they're going to try to connect those funds to that through crypto. I don't see it happening, and we have another person praying for people in the wildfires. I do too. It's horrible. Okay, will Greenland be able to stop the Texas drilling companies from drilling in Greenland, and will NATO get involved? Okay, will any Texas company, without Greenland's permission, which is really Iceland's permission, be able to drill? I'm just going to ask it that way, because NATO's like another layer on the question. It's no, because they don't have the equipment to do it. I mean, I know they can dig oil out in some really weird situations, but it's not good. And they don't have the partnership and the collection and the understanding of the people that are there. So what's going to happen is it's just going to be put off and put off and put off until it's a dead issue. It's a distraction. They're just saying that so that when the oil reserves run out sometime in the next 30 days and the oil prices go up at the gas pumps, it's going to be nuts. Somebody's daughter never got her federal income tax return money. I don't know about that, but they wrote me, and I'd filed for an extension, and they wrote me a letter that scared me half to death, and it ended up, it was about my extension. And I don't know if I'm out there or not. It says I'm live, so. Hold for a second. My mouse is dead. I have to see if my mouse is just out of power. This shouldn't take this long, but it does. Yeah, it's the mouse that's here. Are you out of power? No, you're not. Okay. I have to run this from my pad on my computer. This is not going to be good. Okay. Okay. Wait. Oh, this is just damn near impossible. No, it's not. It's working again. Good. I've never learned how to use the mouse pad thing on a computer. So. Okay. And I take it I'm still on because all this is seeming to work. Okay, I'm back where I was when Scott went away. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting question from Echo Bella. Who tells your enemy? By the way, we don't have any enemy. We don't have any tools left. So, what caveman ever went up to a cave saying, "Oh, I really don't have a hatchet to beat your head in"? Okay. Hello, artist Liz. Okay, I'm going to tell you about the astronomers and Ukraine and UFOs. When there was a heavy battle 3 or 4 years ago, the European Space Group, kind of Europe's equivalent of NASA, kept seeing these other things in the sphere in eastern Ukraine. And I have a personal friend who, as you all know, Dr. Gail flies with aliens. But anyway, she said yes, that the UFOs were over there trying, because that's where the nuclear power plants were. And they were trying to stop the Russians from blowing them up. And they were all over the place. And it was reported in the news that they were seeing all these strange crafts over there. Nobody could figure out what they were. So if they're seeing massive UFOs on the moon, fine. It's supposed to be something on the other side of the moon. That's why it never turns and we can't see it. And then the moon's supposed to be hollow too. So I'm having to read the questions. Hey, from Ontario, Silka, where are you? My parents were from Walkerton in London. What will happen to Pirro? Okay, and I think they mean Jean Pirro, who couldn't get them to prosecute them for destroying the reflecting pool because they didn't destroy the reflecting pool. If you saw my little cartoon this morning that I had and that I attached to my YouTube thing, it was Trump was standing looking in the reflecting pool and he said, "This looks like a bunch of gunk." And the guy standing next to him said, "Well, yes, sir, it is a reflecting pool." So what's going to happen to Pirro? She's going to be slowly eased out. Okay, well, it's pretty certain Mitch isn't going to return. No, not even in a hospital bed. And see, the Republicans during COVID, because they wanted to make Democrats have to come out and get COVID, they passed rules that you had to be in Congress to vote. So Mitch can't vote unless he's there. So yes, it definitely affects them. But it doesn't affect how bills can be brought forward because the Republicans have the majority to bring bills and create actions. So that's where it's a pain in the butt to us. I have something about Judge Sullivan ordered him into court on 8/12 for violating orders. I don't know who judge. You can't say him. There's so many Republicans that are being ordered into courts. You can't just say it that way. Okay. They snuck in Blanche before they left. That's true. They did that in the middle of the night. Cowards. Are they all in on that, or are they afraid what T can do to them? I don't know, because Trump's super in love with Paxton, who's running against Tallarico in this state, and Tallarico's ahead by 3. Yay! And if this is true, my son Sean runs a YouTube channel called CLSB Politics. He's had 400 shows. He's done some shows on this. If Texas goes blue, and that's if we can all get out and get our act together and work on it, we can do that. The Republicans will never own it again, because the reason the Democrats have been successful is because they held on to New York and California. And Texas is as big as those two. So we don't have the economy size California has. California has overall a larger economy than we have. And yeah, the Department of Human Services isn't reporting deaths anymore. It's like, that's like COVID. If in Florida, they used to fudge the numbers. And they, if we don't tell you they're dead, they're not dead. Well, Grandpa's still dead. I mean, why would the Orange Cloud pledge $1 billion to Colombia? Because he can say anything he wants. He can't make anything happen. Yeah, they're re-enslaving Haitians by putting ankle bracelets on them. I'm not going to feed rumors about anybody's death. I think we just need to let things play out and see what happens. Yay, we're coming in loud and clear near Toronto, Ontario. That's where my cousin lives. He was a doctor. I'm not sure if he's still there or not anymore. I did not grow up in a close, well-knit, everybody sends each other Christmas cards family, so I don't know. Tate brothers are threatening to expose Marco Rubio's son. I'm going to see if the Tate brothers are going to get extradited soon. We're a better continent for not having them on our soil. But I want to thank you all for hanging in there. I think Scott may not have any power at his house, something like that. I don't know. I'll find out later, I'm sure. Tate brothers, are they going to be extradited soon? Well, that's unfortunate. It's 5 no's. No, they've got the money to keep the thing going. No, they've got the money to keep the thing going. People know that there's a couple tens in here, so something's coming to an end. But no, those are 5 no's. They're not leaving us anytime soon. That's unfortunate. Someone's talking about how they're rewording something on a ballot, so it's very confusing. That could be the property tax thing in Florida. Yes, I actually, when I was back in politics, I actually knew people that ran companies, and that's one of the things they did, is they wrote those things so that they were specifically confusing. So yes means no, and no means yes. It's one of them used to say. Oh, lightning strike took out my power. This is at 10:23 from Scott. Mobile data isn't stable enough. We miss you, Scott. I really miss you, Scott. I can tell you, I miss you. I don't know what's going on with Mitch. I don't think he's all here. But as many of you know, my father was a doctor and he was an anesthesiologist. And in the state we lived in, he decided who got to stay on the life support machines. And my dad, it used to make him so angry because someone was brain dead. And this was back before they had a lot of the tests that they can take in and now. And they had the committees to decide who died. They used to leave it up to one doctor to pull the plug. And he was the doctor. And he used to get very pissed because he said, you can keep someone alive forever. When my husband was dying of cancer and they wanted to put in a feeding tube and I did not want him to do it, my dad said, honey, don't you let them put in a feeding tube. The condition he has, he's not going to come back from. They can keep him alive forever with a feeding tube because as long as they get nutrition and the cells keep regenerating, they can keep going. So if Mitch has got a feeding tube in there, he can go on for quite a while. I mean, he's going to come, stagger in and look all bruised and freaky in Congress, but the physical signs are there of life. And I remember sitting and talking to my dad about it. And he said what used to get to him was when a person had been, I remember it was a teenager, it was like 17 or 18 years old. He'd been injured. Well, he'd actually been killed in a motorcycle accident. And once I put him on life support, his family kept begging, it was a Catholic hospital, they kept begging the nuns to not take him off the machine because there might be a miracle and their son would live. And my dad said, meanwhile, they had people who needed that machine. They just needed it for a brief period of time to survive, and they would have survived. And he was really, really pissed because he used to have arguments with the nuns frequently. Oh, someone says, judge has ruled they have to reword the tax bill before it's put on the ballots. So what you do then when they do that kind of crap to you at the last minute, you go to the Women League of Voters, you go to their website, and you read their analysis of the bill, and then you'll know which way to vote. Because those ladies don't screw around. They tell you the truth. Have you ever have a loved one die, a spouse, a partner unexpectedly? I have. Age 40. It's very difficult because you try to figure out what could I have done, what things could happen. Okay. Oh, Barb Gorge said this is too funny. Poor Scott. The universe is telling you to take a break. Guess you ought to. It would be lovely and it would be a great break for Scott, but his thing to go do would be to get on his boat. And I don't think in the thunderstorm that's going on around him right now, he wants to go get on a boat. And Scott's following us in the chat. Thank you, Artist Liz, for your contribution. Will the Yeti, Musk, and the minions pass their anti-environmental rules against clean water? They've already instituted a great many of them. They've torn that department apart. So, as soon as the Democrats come in, there are going to be some changes made. Remember when Biden got in office and a lot of things that happened around medicines and COVID, all of a sudden you could get COVID tests. They were mailed. If you were my age, they were mailed to your house, a certain number of them every 2 months. So you could tell where you were. I mean, just things that make your life easier. Somebody's near the Wisconsin border and they have no rain. Okay, 15 miles from Madison is, yeah, and Scott's 15 miles from Madison and it's pouring. Let's see. Yeah, Diane had a brother who was an airline pilot. And he died suddenly when she was living in Cambodia. She was teaching English as a second language in Cambodia. And then her sister got breast cancer. That's why she had to come back to the States. Otherwise, she would have been living during COVID happily in Cambodia. Yes, I'm lucky. I have an ice maker close to me. I like my ice maker. This is the most weird stream of consciousness rant I've ever been on. Yeah, the IRS is going to come get Trump. Don't worry about it. Okay, we're going to ask about Lake Mead. Will any rain be coming there before the fall? Lake Mead, will you have rain before the fall? Yes. Look at, there are people sitting in a boat on water. That's a yes. That's, people worry about it so much, and they should, but the rain is coming. The relief is coming. And have you had a lot of burdensome laws put on you about water usage? Because some of that's going to be lessened. Here he is.
Power's back.
I mean, welcome. This, if anyone watches this show, it's going to be like, what is that woman? Because I couldn't pull over any of the questions. I couldn't do anything. I just had to sit here. Na, 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 na.
Well, at least you could see the starred ones.
Yeah, well, I no, and then my mouse decided to run out of power, so I couldn't run the thing. I mean,
Hi, everyone. Sorry.
hi, welcome back, Scott.
I had no control over lightning, so we got to figure out where we're at now.
I'm at Wheezy Squeeze Bucket at 10:30. China welded the door shut. They also bludgeoned people's vets and took them off to be isolated. She was talking about all the inhuman things China did during COVID, and people think that they're going to stop the world because a woman and her puppies. I think it's awful a woman got killed. I think it's awful a puppy got killed. But we killed more puppies in this country than any other nation in the world. So,
Yeah.
spay and neuter.
And I lost all the starred ones from before.
And you were talking about We talked a little bit about Diane and how her family all died young.
I heard about that, or I was
Hmm.
listening.
And
Yeah, I tried my phone, hook up my phone, and the data wasn't good enough to go through my phone.
oh dear.
Okay. Did you do the eclipse effect?
On Trump, yes.
You did that one?
Yes. Doesn't look good for him.
Oh, good. Good news. Okay. I'll get rid of that one. Yeah, that sucks. The ones you may have not done aren't there.
What are flock cameras?
They're like spy cameras on the road.
Oh,
They will grab license plates, like if they catch someone, sees someone speeding.
mm-hmm.
But there's been problems with um, reading properly.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Whoops.
there was this case here in Milwaukee lately that um, it picked up the same woman 3 times. They thought she was a criminal, and they had her at gunpoint. Picked up the same person 3 times because it misread the license plate. And people are pissed. And she's pissed, and she's going to sue the city or a flock or whatever.
Yeah, I was working with Crime Watch when that reading the license plate technology was being developed, and it was sketchy then, but it was new then. But I can't imagine if it's like drones flying over that. You want to do this week for F-45?
Yeah, I was gonna, it's kind of like we usually try to start out. And we got a question. So,
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Well, I knew we had questions, guys. Scott had the main, he had the main controls. So,
yeah, when you create this game, you have control over the starring, and so unfortunate. But anyway,
and artist Liz sent you $5. So, I don't know if you saw that.
yeah, I did earlier. I seen a donation. Thank you, Liz. Okay, how will this week go?
Oops. He got the 10 of swords.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
He got the 10 of swords, and he's talking to people. He's got a lot of twos, a lot of indecision cards, a lot of people meeting and not making their mind up or trying to make their mind up. There's this woman keeps showing up, the Queen of Pentacles, but I think it's more the situation. The country's sick of having its resources waived, and it's going to take a lot of strength for us to get through this week.
yeah, Rose said about the flock cameras. One cop was found out he was stalking his ex using the flock cameras, where she was going.
Oh yeah.
Um, so I get the devil surrounding the government
Mm-hmm.
here. News about where money's going. I know Democrat are always looking into finances and stuff. Some reason it never breaks the news, enough. Kind of like the reporting that Capital One, canceled Trump's accounts because they were money laundering,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't break the news, enough to make people upset. Um, I I'm I get a death card coming up this week, along with the home and the two of coins. I get the feeling that he's gonna be gone again briefly. We're like, where the heck is he? I think he's gonna go get some transfusion or something this week. With this
Yeah, I
death.
pulled one card. He's going on a trip. He got the chariot.
And there's going to be more revelations about him. There's people behind the scenes doing the work. But I get a mail here. It feels like a judge. I think this is Katie Fang, the Emmett Sullivan. Revelations about that case.
Mm-hmm.
Good news.
Oh, is that the case where they said they have to be in Sullivan's court on 8/12?
Yes.
Okay, that's they can't say he has to be in because there's so many Republicans that have to be in court one way or another.
I just seen this morning they're going to allow to hear the case. Like it's going to be streamed so you can listen to it. The oral arguments or whatever. A bunch of stuff. It's going to be an interesting week. But it feels like the orange one's going to have a health issue here.
Have a health issue. He's going to finally, there's only so much way, there are only so many ways you can bolster someone up, and I don't care how many millions of dollars you have, your body gives out at some point.
Will Eastern Washington start realizing climate change is real? Well, Eastern Washington, kind of like...
That's the other side of the mountains. It's kind of like
Western and North Wisconsin is
right.
Republican.
It's like our farmers who think, well, we do so much better under Republicans because they keep buying their allegiance with subsidies.
Subsidies, right. Eastern Washington. The voting block there. The voting block in Eastern Washington.
Hello, Carrie Dye. Oh, I got yes. I got that they finally seen through the lies. Something's happening. We're going to get what we want. They're going to see what's in their own best interest. It's going to be hard because it's been objects and goals they've built up in their mind for a long time. But they're starting to see the King of Cups for what he really does, or the people that run that part of the state or whatever. What'd you get?
Yeah, I get in the past they were kind of, I don't know why, but it feels like a information bubble.
Mm-hmm.
Because I get that area, it's kind of like in Wisconsin too in certain areas. It's just this concentration of people just flock to Republican values or whatever, whether it's more rural and spread out, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I get this 8 of Swords, they're kind of restricted in their own bubble. But I get a definite yes. People are seeing the light with the sun, wanting better for family with the Ace of Cups, truth and clarity coming with the Ace of Swords. We have to have patience with people.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy to come out when your whole belief system has been focused on this for so many years.
Oh, yeah.
Because I got the Page of Wands, what's coming out, and then my evaluation card. Which way do I take? I got to evaluate my situations, and it's going to be difficult with that 5 of Swords.
Mm-hmm.
Leading MAGA is a difficult thing for so many people when you're in that bubble, and it's going to be heartbreaking.
Well, the problem is there's so many arguments that have been built up around issues that's one reason why they put Fauci on trial, because that pleased so many people who didn't like COVID and didn't like having to be didn't like vaccines and didn't like masks and stuff. But when you get a new topic like those AI centers that sloops up all the power and all the water and everything, even the diehards, it's a whole new issue. So, and it hasn't had a chance to be framed. So that's why that one's so important.
Sununu is running? I thought he was out.
I have no idea.
He's
I
the,
assume that Eleanor lives where he is.
well, he's the former governor.
Well, there's a former governor and there's a Sununu the son. There was Sununu the father. And then there's Sununu the son.
Yeah.
What?
I'm just trying to figure out if he's running for anything. He was a former governor. He's talked about if he's going to run for president. I don't know. It doesn't feel right. Is he running for anything? Is he running for Senate? Jean Sahin is retiring.
Yeah, I don't see him running. When I call him up,
Oh, he's running for Senate.
oh, okay.
Yeah, he's facing Senator Scott Brown in the Republican primary.
Okay.
And their primary is in September. How late?
Yeah, Massachusetts are in September too.
Okay, that's the question. Senate.
Okay.
Oh, I should have looked at Rose Blue. She
What?
said the comment. I should have looked at the comments. Rose Blue said, I heard he's running for Senate. Okay, Sununu's chances for being the Republican nominee.
No, he does. He's going to try it out for the Wheel of Fortune, but then after that, I got nothing but no. The Republicans don't want him because he's not Republican enough.
Republican nominee for Senate. I got a lot of issues around him here and conflicts.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people thought he was a decent governor. He did help some things with Magician, but people are conflicted about him.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get, moving forward, some kind of 10 of Swords, King of Swords, and 6 of Swords, but he overcomes whatever chaos there is. And my outcome isn't bad. He's running against another guy, so because I got a female, Scott Brown. So you didn't think he was going to get the nominee from that Brown, huh? Is that what your card said?
Yeah. I don't see he's going to win anything.
I'm not sensing he wins the general, but these cards say he's going to probably going to win the
Primary? Okay.
primary. He's mostly probably because he's got more name recognition than the other guy. That's always a big help, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Probably why our senator in Wisconsin, Ron Johnson, made it again from a lot of name recognition. And that I behind your name. Incumbent. Okay. Want to know about Barron? Did we ever read on Barron?
Because it's boring. Because you want to read about something you can do something about. And I don't think there's any hope for Barron. But we can ask him.
What's going to happen with the dictator in making?
That kid didn't have a chance. Look at his parents. Whoa.
Got the illegal money coming in.
No, because apparently the people who do lawsuits also find Barron boring. I got no.
Barron. Legal. I get nothing legal for Mr. Barron. I get safety and security. Some kind of, it feels like a trust. Wherever his money is coming from is safe. He is being scrutinized now quite a bit.
Because they're going to run money through him.
Yeah.
He's not responsible for it.
It feels like he's laying low right now with the hermit. But I think through his mom or something, he's got a magician behind him. So however his problems or his finances, whatever, they're secured somehow.
You can't convict someone unless they're mentally competent. I'm not saying that to be mean. I mean, the kid's got
No,
problem.
I don't think he's like a mastermind or anything, right? I think there's lawyers or people that are stashing his money away in trusts or secret funds, whatever, that are guiding his future. So I don't see him as like a mastermind of corruption. He's what, 19, 20?
Yeah, he's in college.
Jeff. No, it was a dumb question that Francesca Hong did for Wisconsin. But she was the whole Thanksgiving thing was about, she was in a restaurant cooking and whatnot and struggling, and COVID was hitting. So she was frustrated about her business, but she said Thanksgiving because of COVID. They ought to just cancel Thanksgiving because of COVID, but she didn't mention COVID. So now, like Tom Tiffany in Wisconsin running for the governor, they're all just running with it. That she wants to abolish Thanksgiving or abolish Christmas or whatever, So it just it just turned into nonsense. Fleur thinks that Barron may not be in college anymore.
No, I think he's college age. He went.
Liz, Bomber gives me Dahmer vibes.
Gives me Ted Cruz vibes. Ooh.
Let's see. Is there anything in the universe where the felon in the White House occupant resigns? Or does health issues? Is there anything in the universe? Option. Barron turns 20.
I got a yes.
Well, I don't think we're supposed to know because I get a no.
Well, then, that's the biggest non-answer you've ever gotten in your life.
Yep. I mean, in the past, there's a tower coming for him, one way
Mhm.
or another. Part of business, part of legal, next to the tower. And then I get in government, and he's protected.
Mhm.
Kind of like the way, did you happen to see the video of Cassidy's reasoning for voting for Blanche? It looked like a hostage video.
Yes, they've got stuff. God, they have got stuff on all these guys. They're
He looked
running.
he looked dejected. He looked scared. You could see him speaking. He was speaking down. His jaw was quivering.
Was his eyes looking to the left?
No, he was reading a paper down.
Okay.
So he was kind of pointed to the right, but he was reading, and then he just walked away. So I got protection in the White House now. Um, so I don't get to resign. Um, it feels more on the bottom. I had the Nine of Swords, so it feels that would mean more of a health anxiety, um, worrisome pressure on him rather than resigning. So that's what I get today. That it feels more of a health. Health is going to take him out because the presidency, unless JD does a solid and gives him a pardon, which I don't see happening, but it feels more like he goes to a hospital than he gets a resignation.
Nixon hadn't a pardon, but look at how happy his life was.
Yeah, his life wasn't in prison, unlike all his all his
Oh
thir-
yeah, all of his crowd went.
all his what was it 33?
Yep.
Like 80 were indicted and 33 went to prison,
Hmm.
something like that, or had some kind of legal.
They lost their law licenses. They lost their ability to make a living.
Yeah. Liz's intuition says I see him face down on the floor before resigning. Um, Cassie said the Epps issue was tawdry. And he didn't want to talk about it. Of course. They don't care. Because, like you said, they're being held hostage or blackmailed. Um, will Max Miller resign? It's too late. The He had to officially sign his papers by last night to resign, and then
To
the
not
party.
be on the ballot?
You know about the Max Miller stuff?
No.
Oh, he's from Indiana. Uh, Senator Bernie Moreno from Ohio. He was married to his daughter.
Oh, he's a perv that beat up their 2-year-old. Yeah.
Yes. He had till last night file the paperwork to be off the ballot. So
Is there someone else to vote for, though, if he's not on the ballot? Isn't that a primary ballot?
Yes. So to get off the ballot in Ohio, they would have to start by Monday to get another person in that seat and get new ballots printed. So, and he would have to sign the paperwork to leave the race by last night.
So he just wants the public to throw him out.
Yeah. He said he's not leaving.
Well, good.
And the Democrat is leading him like by 10 or 12 points.
If it's a primary, why is it a Democrat?
For the future.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually, maybe he did already win. So someone would have to come in as a write-in or something at this point.
I'm going to look up his election status. I'm very confused.
Maybe he already did win his primary.
I thought they already had their primary.
I think they did. But someone that's in Ohio politics that I follow on Twitter explained it in a post that he had to file his paperwork by Saturday
Yeah, the
night.
window was he didn't resign, so that closed the window and them replacing him on the ballot. So that means one more congressperson for the Towns.
It's good for the Democrats in Ohio, yes, and us. Let's go with the X-Files. So I'm obviously not going boating with this bad weather, so we can stay on as long as you want. since I'm back,
Okay.
since I lost an hour or whatever, it's up to you.
There was also somebody who put some up that you're going to be able to watch the federal court hearing on the Epstein files on
Is it Thursday or something like that?
yeah, whenever it is.
So, well, I wonder if like France or everyone even is able to get the Epstein files that we have.
Oh, they've got them. They've got them.
Okay. So, well, anyone?
I get no. I get
Europe,
they're not going to expose it because they think it would weaken the exposure when it comes from the U.S. And I'm not going to lay out. I'm not going to show you the cards, but that's what really was said. Let's see.
um, the current energies, I don't think they have everything yet. For one, the investigators over there, because I sense with the Six of Cups, Four of Swords, and Five of Cups, that's a loss yet, and that's still waiting for the Four of Swords and the request from the Six of Cups here. So there'll be more needed, but I get the Devil, Page of Swords, and Queen of Coins. That feels like looking at the money yet. Trying to get cooperation from some bad people into it. Outcome, Knight of Cups getting what they want. Four of Cups probably feels like holding on to information more. Nine of Coins and Five of Coins. That's like having but not releasing.
Mm-hmm.
Doing the right thing to not blow up a case. Like report publicly.
Yeah.
So no, they won't do anything to blow their cases they're doing. We'll hear it as cases kind of thing when it
Right.
investigation, but not like releasing to the public, the files or whatever. So yeah, we got to do our own work here, unfortunately. Okay, I'm done with that. The Tate brothers. I think you said something about this, didn't you?
Yeah, they're not going to do anything. They're going to hang in there, and they're not moving anywhere quickly.
Well, last I seen, our government wasn't gonna oppose extradition. Expose. Let's do 3 cards. 3 cards saying no. They'll hold on to the information.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Knight of Cups. Earth Mama, this is true.
So he's in the right party.
Yes. So Brian Poindexter winning against Max Miller. We feel so.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, weird question. Jeff sees that Tucker Carlson, they're thinking about having their own party. American
Good.
First Party.
That's fine. We're a system that's based on two parties. Go create another party. That's fun.
Yeah. It takes a lot of funding and outreach and it didn't work for Elon Musk. He was talking about that too.
Good. Alon, go do that.
Restricted. Anything they want to do comes up with a tower. And I get not enough funding to create anything. So I think it's just a pipe dream. I think it's chaos to split people's minds. If anything, the talk of this would hurt the Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think independents and Democrats want anything to do with.
No, because we're smarter than that. Yeah, it's going nowhere. It's going nowhere. Ten of Swords upside down. And it's also not, it's just not, it's they're stuck in one place. And they got 2 pages in there talking for them. They have no adult authority. So
Let's see. Wasn't his
whose?
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't have wasn't his father. Sununu's. Yeah, Sununu's father had something to do with Watergate.
Oh yeah, we're talking about Sununu. Yeah, I was just scrolling up to see if I missed something.
It's really bad when you're in the 3rd generation of people you can remember who were sleazebags.
Oh lordy. So that would take a constitutional amendment, correct?
Yes.
So that would take the Senate and House voting.
No,
yes.
and then you have to get 2/3 of the state to approve.
The states to agree.
And remember, ERA, which started when I was in high school, is still out there struggling to get approved.
I think. So how many? Isn't there like 23 states that approved accepting the popular vote as the winner? There's something like that.
That's how you'd have to repeal it. You'd have to make it void by bringing in another law that supersedes it.
Right. You remember what law I'm talking about?
Okay.
There's like 23 states that signed a law
mm-hmm.
that no matter how their state goes, but they're all Democrat states.
This was after they put this was after George W. got elected by the Supreme Court deciding who won. That's when that whole movement started. Okay. I've been one way or another around that movement since I was in college. I've always thought the Electoral College was the worst idea we ever had. It was the Electoral College was created to keep the Southern white racism going, and that's exactly why it's there. If you read its history, that's why it's there.
Oh, let's see. So, will it ever? Well, I currently, in the past position, I get it's currently deceitful and burdensome how we have the process.
Mm-hmm.
Seven of Swords, Ten of Wands. It's an outdated process. That makes sense. Current energy is the Hangman. So that's like letting go, new perspectives, transitioning, surrendering. Ten of Cups, it would be much better in Queen of Cups for the United States, but it's currently Hangman, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Not going anywhere. Moving forward, I get the Moon. Hidden motives, deception, dreaming at Eight of Cups, withdrawal. It's not going anywhere right now. Seven of Cups, it's a fantasy and a wish.
Mm-hmm.
In the future of removing the Electoral College, I get a Magician. The tools are at hand to do it. Ace of Wand, energy will be coming up. Ten of Pentacles and Page of Swords. Someday it will. The future says it will
Mm-hmm.
go away.
Yeah.
But that future feels a long time away.
Yeah. I got the Eight of Wands upside down, which means slowly. When will this change? Slowly, when people begin to really understand that it hurts them.
And basically, we got a open wish that we have enough intellectual and like-minded people to destroy the Republican Party and have people that actually work for us. And so we're talking maybe by 2040.
2036.
That's
when all the astrologers say all the big movements and all the big changes will have
yeah. I was feeling like 10 years, so I just added 4 just in case. What rose? All tarot readers have a hanging Chad card. Hangman or hanging Chad?
No, she means hanging Chad like in the Florida elections.
That would be true.
That's when we say it's a yes no question and we get a maybe.
So yeah, we are having issues. Mortgage problem issues. It just came out that the largest mortgage lending company is having problems.
Mm-hmm.
Losing money. They lost a lot of stock. I was seeing someone report that, like in Texas, there's a lot of mortgages not getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
And the mortgage companies down there, per se, don't know what to do. Because do they, move to foreclose, or they just let it happen? Because it's a bad mortgage economy right now. Plus, it's like 5.2%, 30-year government bond right now, which is higher than 2008 crash.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good. So interest rates are higher, borrowing is higher. The question probably is more, is our federal government solvent?
No, it's not.
So what's the feeling out there with the big and large banks?
Okay.
Is Teresa's question. Mm. Most of these cards are not bad, which is strangely because it comes up with the moon of being solvent or good to go. And the moon would mean to me here is that it's smoke and mirrors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like,
Banking's always been smoke and mirrors.
but the rest of the cards show security. Security and patience. So I really hope there's a change coming soon, then, with a new path. So our government would have to come up with a real soon change to make this go this way, because I don't sense it's good, and the market and the data shows it's not good. So to come up with these Ace of Coins, Page of Coins, Ace of Cups as an outcome, we would have to do a shift real soon. You know, stop the tariffs, stop the war, build back to normalcy. Because if we get 2 more years of this current, we're done.
Mm-hmm.
We're showing a shift and a change.
Yeah. Well, what I see is we're walking away from the chaos. It's going to come to an end, and this means a really sudden end. We're going to be happy. We're going to be feeling good about it. There's going to be some struggles because it's going to have to be bringing people in, and the recovery is going to be slow. But then I did a 1-card pull on would there be recovery, and I got the Ace of Pentacles.
Let's pray. Let's hope these are right. Because we would have to do a complete about face. Otherwise, we're in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
And the cards are showing we're doing an about face. Will the war end early since the government run ammunition? There's been reporting from the inside that the Orange Felon wants out. And Iran gave them their proposition. They will continue to get money through the Strait. The United States leaves the area. They get all their sanctioned money, plus 300 billion to rebuild. Those are their options. And Iran won't take anything less.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see.
What are we asking?
What's the future of this Iran war? Ooh. Starts out with the 4 of Wands.
Well, I got. What you gonna go first?
Ugh. In the past, I get this was all a mistake, obviously. 5 of Swords, 5 of Cups, losses, money losses. Dumb. Current energy is giving Iran what they want. Moving forward, money, lovers, agreement, 6 of Wands. good news, a letter coming,
Mm-hmm.
and my outcome, the star. The Three of Swords, the Devil, and the Queen of Cups. We give them whatever they want to end this crap.
Mm-hmm. I'm just going to go right because pretty much I read up to you to the end. What I see is we have to face the fact we're not the all-powerful magician. We're not running everything,
Yeah,
and we have an end that it's going to be an end that's not an end. It's going to be something that's going to. The war doesn't keep going on, but the repercussions from it do.
Oh, we're gonna pay. We have no ammunition left. That all it has to be. We're using money not even appropriated to continue this.
Mm-hmm.
We're out of money. And then Israel's being buttheads, saying we're not going to agree to what the United States government wants because we want to continue destroying Yemen and Gaza.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it Lebanon? Lebanon.
Well, we can just back off and let the Arabs come get them. What?
Linda goes, how many rocks did the Trump regime have to turn over before they found Stephen Miller?
Oh no, he was there under a big old bad boulder from before. He's been around for a while.
Yeah, he was all in.
Mm-hmm.
He was perfect for Trump. Yes, it is, Weezy. America era is over. 40 trillion in debt.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, guys.
Medicare, Medicaid losing money. Social Security on the brink of collapse. It ain't good. What were we gonna say?
We can still pull it back. You just have to believe that. You can't say, "Oh, it's never going to be what it wasn't what they said it was before." And we don't have to be the big bad policeman that runs the world. Yay! Let them settle their own fights. I mean, why should our young people be the ones who end up in the middle of everything? And that's what's happened since after World War II. I think it's time for us to say we want to be a country about ourselves. We still have better food production than anybody else. We just need to quit letting China own the pork farms.
Yep. That was always my feeling. I think it was talking to people, not really arguments, but when politics was a little more civil. I think it was around Bush era,
Mm-hmm.
when Kerry was running. I think, and the discussions were like, we gotta stop being the world's police.
Mm-hmm.
That was my feeling back then. We gotta get out of these wars and stop being the world's police and take care of ourselves.
Well, look at the countries we said, oh, Japan's broke and they've been ruined, and they're, one year they're in buying skyscrapers in New York, 3 years later they're on the brink of destruction. Things like that happen, but if we elect the right people with sane policies and push out, the biggest problem in this country is the middleman. We don't have socialism for the people, we have socialism for the businesses.
Might as well, because it infects me.
Yeah, let's look at Wisconsin.
So primary's coming first. That's a tough one. Do you want to go out to November or just primary?
We can do one row that's Democrat and one row that's Republican, and not have any names, and just make it November.
November. Okay. That sounds better. I'm trying to think because
Right now, you're very embroiled in personalities.
very embroiled in personalities. The latest polling from political analysts say it's like they're feeling positive that Wisconsin will take their Senate and the House. The House by a couple, the Senate by quite a few because of the new maps.
Mm-hmm.
But the current trajectory, they think it may be a Republican governor. The current trajectory.
Yeah,
Well,
what I got was a mix. Dems win one way and Republicans win the other.
That wouldn't be good. Then we'll be in a standstill for another 4 years. So I haven't shuffled yet. So you did 5 for the Democrats and 5 for
Right.
Okay.
Did a row of Democrats or Republicans?
Give me the Democrat line for November in Wisconsin. Give me the Democrat line. For Wisconsin. 5. Okay. Give me the Republican line for November election.
I did it again. I got the same thing. It's split.
It's the current energy.
That's today. Remember, you don't like that outcome, go change it. Get out there and work for someone.
Okay. So what I get for the Democrats? 8 of Swords. Self-imposed restrictions. We're in the middle of a crisis. I get the Hierophant. That means we may take the governorship. 4 of Pentacles. We get something in the House. We get victory, and we have a male leader. So it's showing we do get something in the Senate and House. Unknown. Whether it's both or one. Predictions are Senate is much more likely than the House. The House is going to be a 50-50. The new maps favor Democrats taking the Senate. What I get for Republicans, they do win something with a 10 of Pentacles. 2 of Swords is a balanced 2 of Wands, Knight of Swords, and Queen of Swords. So there's a lot of negativity here. So we'd have to look at a different spread to get more direct. But right now I'm not seeing all 3 a trifecta either way. It feels like the Republicans hold one of something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's leaning towards the governor being a Democrat right now.
Mm-hmm.
So as of today, I would think the Democrat is a governor. With the Democrats take the Senate, but they lose the House. So that's the current energy. I'm curious, what's the Democrat?
I think you need to have candidates in the slots to start to see the real picture.
So I'm curious, what's your cards say about the primary Tuesday?
Okay.
Democrat governor.
Okay.
Male energy or female energy?
Okay.
Democrat primary.
Democratic
Democratic. Thank you. Democratic.
makes me crazy. It's one of those word tricks Republicans pulled in the 80s that I watched slowly happen going, no, that's wrong.
Democratic primary. Tuesday. Female energy or male energy?
Right now it's 50-50 for them too. For the male, they can move in quickly. They both have an ace. The male has the ace of wands. The female has the ace of pentacles. I think she has more money behind her.
Yep.
But something's happening around here. She's having to hang loose. She's the hangman right now.
Oh my God.
But the male,
I gotta grab a different deck.
get a different
I drew
deck.
out 20 cards and no male or female came out. I gotta try something.
I asked male in line 1, female in line 2. But the male I got, yeah, he's moving to something new change. But they both came out even. So right now, the way it sits, they both have a chance.
So
And
yeah,
in her case, being quiet and being in the corner is helpful to her. But she's also got a lot more money than he has. He has more new ideas.
yeah. The male's running around with Governor Evers all weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Our current governor, but the female is leading in polls by like 20. But there's a lot of undecideds. So I'm gonna try again. Split it. Yeah, give me 4 cards for the female. 4 cards for the female. Ace of Swords, Chariot. There's a lot of conflicts, but she's got good energy. 4 cards for the male, please. The top polling male. I don't know. A lot of people are going to split their votes.
Would you have a runoff after that, or is it you just do
No.
whoever gets the highest number?
Whoever gets the highest number.
Runoffs are terrible.
Tower. According to this, the female wins.
Okay.
Because I get a tower, not quite enough. Because the male did bow out and then rejoin the race. So that divorce hurt him there.
Mm-hmm. Was he divorced?
No, the divorce from the race.
Oh, okay.
Because he was polling kind of low, and then he endorsed our lieutenant governor, and then our lieutenant governor had a campaign finance problem. She dropped out, and then that guy got back in. So that divorce, that leaving. So they both got decent cars, but that divorce, the male has a tower and the female has a 5 of swords. It's going to be, it feels relatively close, but the cards are leaning towards the female winning Tuesday. Thank you for checking in on that with me.
No problem. Lord knows we don't talk about Texas enough. What did you think about the article I sent you about California and Texas both have laws that said if you're like an influencer or someone in that world, you're supposed to disclose that you receive money from a candidate before you speak nicey about them.
Uh-huh.
And there's a guy who's a vegan and I don't know, he's sort of all the things you think of as a Californian anyway. At the end, he came out and did a thing about why he wanted Steyer's, and he basically read Steyer's political stuff. But they went back and checked, and he had said at the beginning that he was receiving money for this. And I sent it to Scott as a joke, really. Like, we don't get money for this. But in California, they're going to make the law have real teeth. And if you are an influencer and you're pushing a candidate and you're not saying you're getting money from that candidate, do you realize after the last election, all of the young MAGA weird males, and that's what they are to me. And I mean, it's not just because they're young,
Yeah.
but
Getting-
they're just weird. And all of them were making millions off Republicans giving them money to say nice things to them.
Yeah. And that was a good thing he did it. And that was a good thing he did it.
Oh no, I trust me, and we have that law in Texas, and I guarantee you, if I got so much as a dime and didn't say this and so gave me this, they cost me money. They don't get me money, but just saying. I sent it to Sean and I said, I presume you're not guilty of this either. Sean had his 400th show.
I seen that.
Good.
Hello from Florida, Evelyn's voting for David Jolly.
Yep, he's been out there long enough. You ought to have enough name recognition.
Yeah, there's some, I don't know if it's true or not, but there's some weird stuff going on with Byron Donalds, the governor, Republican governor nominee. Something about money laundering or sex trafficking or something.
Who is from where? Which state?
Byron Donalds is running for governor.
Oh, in Florida?
In Florida, yeah. Yeah,
Well,
he's been to the Florida House, U.S. Senate, or U.S. House. He's a strange one. I don't know how he can win. Checking for any other questions.
Byron Reynolds is a rat. That's the last one I saw. Do you want to pull a Oracle card? I
Yeah.
do, because I have to go fight with my computer about reopening my store.
Let's do that.
We've decided we are going to teach Tarot. Jeffrey and I are going to teach Tarot on Saturday afternoons starting on September 5th. And I wish I could send you to my store to buy the chance to be part of that, but I can't. But you can, if you get a membership, you will be able to join my book club. And that's also going to start the first week of September. Still buy me a cup of coffee. It's good. And
Okay. So I get the Eight of Autumn, High Priestess, and Princess of Summer.
oh, good.
Coins, High Priestess, and Cups. What that means, the Eight of Coins or Eight of Summer, Autumn is always about doing the hard work,
Mm-hmm.
doing the investigation, taking pride in your repairs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for self, whatever that means. And it's a long term. So what this is saying to me is that working on yourself is not an immediate recovery.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long process to delve into yourself, your beliefs, and what you want to create. You know, through whether it's meditation or just leaving other people behind, feeling good about self. And the High Priestess is all about trusting your intuition. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and reflecting, using your insights to promote yourself and explore yourself and be better. And the Prince of Summer is that emotion and staying grounded and being in love with yourself and being happy. So the hard work is worth it. It takes time. Your turn.
Okay. What I pulled for us is called the Hummingbird Spirit, and it's joy. The spirit of the hummingbird says, replenish yourself. True happiness comes from finding what dictates of in your soul. Life is change. Be open to change and look for joy in this moment. Find your boundaries, stand strong, discover your joy. All is well. And I don't know who can, if you've ever seen a hummingbird flying and moving around, how that just doesn't bring joy to your soul to see this little birdie just hovering, doing his thing. So that's my thought for the week. Find our souls, find our joy. I will have a show Tuesday. I don't know what else I'm doing this week. So fighting with my computer.
So for everyone that stuck around, and thank you for the chaos of the power going out and enduring with Nancy Jean till I found it back.
Yeah, Nancy Jean enduring with Nancy Jean. Woo.
From what I heard and listened, you did fine with the chaos.
No, I'm sure though, watching it on the screen, I'm coming up with these questions that are just totally random. I feel like I was in a James Joyce dialogue.
I know it's happened before to me when you lost your connection.
Mhm.
It's like losing something you've been flowing with,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden it's like you're not speaking to anyone anymore.
Yeah, people were saying, get Scott on the phone, put him on speakerphone. I don't think that's it.
No, that wouldn't really work. I tried going to StreamYard with my phone, but
Yeah, we saw that.
it was all
So,
dark.
Yeah, you look like you were hanging out in a gloomy cave. Yes.
Oh, it did pop up?
Yeah, it did pop up.
Oh, okay. Then the
We
phone
saw
kept
it.
losing data, so that didn't work.
I think this is not a version of this show I will put on StreamYard.
Or Substack.
Substack.
Yeah.
Substack.
Yeah. The playback's probably bad. But anyway, thanks everyone for joining us, and
Bye-bye.
and take care. Bye.